Okay, let's see if we could try this out. Hey, what's happening? Sorry, everybody. Hey, Amanda. Yes, sorry. Cut out. So, you know, good times. So really typical to how we do, but that's what's going on. So we recovered and we're going to move on. So follow, if anybody's at the old chat, well, you're not here, but at least you guys are here. So get it to get recalibrated, sort of. Let's get this thing out of the way a bit. So it's not right in the thing. All right. Dylan! Yeah. Darren! All right, man. We're back up and running. Oh, wow. What a great look I had for when it froze the last time. I don't think it's that. I think we got a bigger internet problem. We're right here, though. So, you want to find yeah, what a pain in the ass, huh? All right, sorry about that, guys.
Hopefully that holds.
Well, this is through the phone, so it should be cellular. Okay. So there's something else going on. Oh, you need more you in the monitor?
Well, I was like, I can be halfway out of the screen. Yeah, we're not gonna. This isn't gonna work. This is so stupid.
Ah, what a great way to start out prime time guitar. All right, so see if we can grab the chat on this, and then we'll get back to it. Sorry. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be a stream for us, or it wouldn't be a computer thing if something didn't go catastrophically wrong. So
if we don't have internet, then
you're not gonna. Yeah, so we can't really see the chats. We'll do the best we can to look at that as we're going along because because good times, man.
Okay, this is it's just too scrunched.
Okay. Well then,
if we need to kind of like bookend
I'll
this.
move over a bit. You can't be half out of the screen either. Yeah, there we go. Look, that works. Now we're both in.
Yeah. And I don't know which stream is which now. Oh.
Well, you can't get on there anyway. So somebody just said, "What up, Dylan?" I don't know who
Hey, I can't. It was too small to see, but
I can't see that. I can't see that far. Hey, there we go. Who's this?
Okay.
Oh, that's Amanda again.
Started another link.
Yeah. So you should pull it up on your phone because the phone will still get reception if the internet's not working. Sorry, we're looking at dead internet here on the screen behind us. So the timing is incredible. That
is it part 2? Is that what you put?
Yeah, I just put part 2 because it's effed already.
Yeah. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys following us over here. We got like 17 people.
Oh, it was Aaron. Hey, Aaron, how's it going, man?
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys switching over. Sorry about that. That's not. I'm gonna have to.
Well, who knows? It's regular for us, but who knows?
Yeah. So I'm gonna call and see what we got to do to get that all fixed up. Obviously, our internet has gone to shit. So anyway, is what it is. So just so you understand what we're now that we'll get back into somewhat of a flow. So we've kind of teamed up with the guys over at Texas Toast and with Dylan Talks Tone. So I didn't really quite explain it. So they're not here clearly because
right.
They're not here to experience our cloud of.
Well, yeah, I was just if we ever do a combined one, I guess they'll have to host.
Well, yeah, we'll have to go someplace.
Hopefully, we'll be able to be up and running and just have it a little more stable here. But
well, we're gonna have to get this rectified for future things. Anyway, so we're kind of teaming up with them. Not really teaming up as we're doing shows together, but that might happen because actually Dylan's in town.
Yeah. There will be a crossover event.
Yes, there will be a cross. It's like Chicago Fire and Chicago PD. You know, we'll all just show up in each other's shows after a while.
That are like comics in like the 60s and 70s when there'd be, crossover
Yeah,
events.
they just show up. So what we're doing is basically we're going to do the show at 4. And then when we're done, exactly at 5 o'clock or 4:59,
Yes.
we're done. So you guys can make your way over to the Texas Toast live stream. And then Matt and Chris will be chatting with you guys in regards to some type of guitar related thing. Then once those guys are done, they're going to do an hour. And once they're done, boom, go over to Dylan at Dylan Talks Tone. And we would put links in this if, well, 1, we knew how to do it. Number 2, if it wasn't already all fucked.
Yes. Yeah.
Did
We'll figure out a lot of
live
that
video
next time.
far enough where I could say fucked and not get in trouble?
I think so. Well, I don't know, because it's been a hairy start, so
Yeah.
we might have come out the gate with some of that, but yeah. All right, everybody says they can hear us fine, so
All right,
this seems to be working okay.
All right, well, that sounds cool. This is now gives you a different angle.
Yeah.
Actually, I like the phone kind of
Right now it's a little,
looks good. Look at this. Looks like. Look at these giant hands. Yeah. Monstrous. All right, so starting all over again. Question and answer show. You ask us a question, we give you an answer, all that fun stuff. And do we have any questions?
Yeah. Let's let me look from last week.
Yeah.
Pull up the video.
It's working, sweet. And Darrell, leave me alone about this, please. You're as old as I am, bro. Maybe older. Yeah, that'll teach him. Plus, he gave me shit last time he was in, remember? He's like, yeah, this building's taking a toll on you. You're looking old.
I might have missed him last time. I think I missed Darrell the last couple
Oh,
times.
yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah, he
brought us
hasn't
donuts,
been
of
coming in
course.
on the weekend as much.
He brought us donuts, of course, to make us fat. So there's that.
All right, there we go. Here's some questions.
And he's telling me I'm looking old.
So, if you guys watched last week's normal episode, Colin James had asked a question about whether or not more companies would be shifting to a consumer direct model, basically where companies interface directly with their customers and kind of bypass the dealers. And so he's asking a follow-up this week of basically says Chase Bliss provided one of the reasons that they provided for doing what they were doing was to keep production here in the States. So he's saying, how long do you think that's a feasible model for people? Or like, is that I think, is that a legitimate thing that they could be doing that to, kind of like you said before, if they're kind of cutting the dealer margin out of it, they might be able to have enough margin to, I guess, keep it here in the States. That could be the reasoning. On top of, is that a sustainable way to do it?
I mean, it could be. The thing is you just were over there.
I know, I'm thirsty. It's stressful.
So you got to keep in mind with some of this stuff, you kind of got to think of some of this stuff a few moves ahead.
Yeah.
Just like with any type of business stuff, you got to think a few moves ahead because this could go wrong, that could go to shit, this could happen. Sometimes, it's a good plug, it's a good cork for a little bit, but it may not be something that's going to be sustainable long term. So yes, right now he might be able to save some dough by cutting the dealers out.
Well, yeah, I think, are they saying that margin or cutting out that extra bit of margin is enough to keep them in the States? I mean, could be.
It could be, but at some point, it's going to change.
Right.
So at some point, it may change where he's not being able to do that. Also, you got to keep in mind, and we kind of touched on this last week, I think, with the when we were talking about the whole Chase Bliss thing, is there's time in that you have to deal with too in regards to some of your customers. So now they're going to go from shipping, hey, here's 20 pedals in one box to a dealer. The dealer's going to deal with those 20 customers.
Right.
Now they're going to have to deal with those customers instead, and each one of those pedals are going to have to be shipped individually. So now you're increasing, unless you charge for shipping, that's a cost, but you're gonna have to put it in a box, right?
Well, no, that is a good point,
box
because
cost-
they wouldn't be dealing with returns as often as some of the dealers might, so just incurring the extra cost in shipping might be enough that also tanks some part of that profit. Because if you got $8 to $10 per pedal to send to each one, and we know that that's probably about where they're at, because their pedals are on the heavier side. So
Right, but if they charge for shipping, then you got to think about it going, well, now it's a $350 pedal plus $10 in shipping.
Right,
Because they're not going to, they don't want to take that cost. I mean, half of the companies don't ship to us for free.
right, most of them, but yeah,
I mean, some do, but some don't.
yeah,
But then, instead of buying a box that's a 14 by 14 by 14 to ship to a dealer, you got to buy a bunch of 7 by 7 by 7s to ship your boxes out. Now so you have box cost, shipping cost, then you have to have a guy extra to do all that shipping. Now, granted, they already do some of that. They sell direct to a certain degree, but that's going to increase. And then all your customer service and your service stuff. I know they want to connect with their customers, have a tighter connection with their customer, more direct. I get it. That's cool. Totally admirable. You want to give customer service. That may be another position, though. You may have to hire somebody for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, maybe less, to handle that. Because at some point, you're going from a handful of dealers to thousands of customers. So I'm sure they thought this out. But I would have done it, spreadsheet, figure it out. How much is this extra?
Well, that really is a good point, though. Like, once you incur another position, like, you got to reevaluate almost the whole thing.
Yeah. Was it worth it for that?
Right.
And if you lose some sales because you've gone a direct model instead of through a dealer, which could happen, I don't know. And I'm not saying that they didn't think about this stuff. I'm sure they did.
Well, no, yeah.
But these are things that I would concern myself with if we were to go to such a model. So
Right.
I don't know if that answers the question.
Well, no, and Alan A is asking kind of within this discussion is, would the direct distribution model necessarily always cut out the dealers? I don't see how it wouldn't. I mean, there could be spots where like they choose a specific dealer or specific dealers that they're only letting, because I mean, some amp companies are kind of like that. Like they only want very specific spots handling their stuff because they know that place has staff that knows what they're doing with that company. So it's possible that some companies could do that where they just have very select stores that carry their stuff.
And there are hybrid models.
Yes.
I mean, look at Fender. Fender's a prime example. You could buy from Fender online. Mm-hmm. You can get a nice unset up Fender right from Fender, right from Leo himself.
Yeah, very
Leo,
dry.
well, you know what I'm saying. But you can buy something from Fender and they'll just take it off the shelf and ship it to you. So they already have a direct model, but clearly there's plenty of dealers. So you can
I think a lot of people do like, in that situation, people do like the support of the dealers by having, if you bought it somewhere, you can take it back somewhere. If you do have to have something done or something, even like what we do with Sam. Like Sam adjusts everything we have before it leaves, but also we have a 30-day window, when people buy things. So a lot of times I think people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Pedals, I think it's a little different. I think, the incentive that some of these companies have, like you said, is to try to cut out that dealer margin, but they're also, kind of opening themselves up to a whole nother window of things. So
yeah, and like I said, in regards to like a Chase Bliss, I'm sure he took plenty of time to think about the decision and probably work the numbers.
Right.
I mean, I know I would have done a pro and con sheet, start to really think about what my costs are, what are the costs going to be, what are things that we could anticipate. Plus, and I'm sure he's done this because he's got plenty of people in this industry, call some of the companies that's what they do.
Right.
Here's your business model. What are you encountering that I don't? What are you doing that I have no idea what I'm getting myself into yet? So I have to assume that he did that.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're smart guys.
He's an engineer too. I mean, engineers are usually very.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, I think they're probably banking on that extra bit of margin, like you said, to cover. It's just one of those things of, can you pick up enough sales then to like you said, offset any other extra costs that might arise out of that. But
yeah, you might have to bring on a full-time shipping and receiving guy.
Right.
Where you didn't necessarily have to do that before, or a full-time customer service person, just to handle all the emails and handle all of the phone calls. So
right. Well, and looks like Black Mantle's asking within this conversation too, why is it that like Electro Harmonics or companies like that can produce sub $200 pedals, still making a profit, but Chase Bliss can't make a profit on their pedals or like the economics behind it. That's tough. I mean, Electro is like so cemented. They're kind of like, to me, they're almost like Hostess or something. Like everybody since the beginning of time has been playing some kind of electro-harmonics pedal, and they're kind of the brand that everybody at least starts somewhere with a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I think
Boss would be probably
Boss,
put in that
Boss,
category.
Electro, and I'd say MXR would be like the third one that, well, Ibanez really too. So I'd say a lot of people, oh, it's just a text, yeah. Anyway, I would say a lot of people
Hey, what's happening, Matt? Okay, so in regards to how does Electro Harmonics pull this off, I don't know, number one. But Mike Matthews has been doing this for a very long time. He's a sharp guy, business guy. And the thing is, he's been doing it for a long time. So there's volume that you have to think about. So I don't think people really realize how many pedals Electro Harmonics puts out. Not only the sheer number of SKUs, individual pedals, but the sheer number of volume that they put out. They put out a ton of stuff. And I'm sure Mike has probably worked at that. A lot of the components are similar that go into a lot of those things. I used to run restaurants and bars for a long time. And some of the best restaurants that I worked at that were profitable used a lot of the same ingredients and a lot of the same dishes. That way they could double it. That way you're buying your stuff in bulk. Now, if you're buying your stuff in bulk, you get a reduced price. But you got to remember, he also has ties to other countries. He's probably getting parts and pieces from other places.
Well, and I mean, I got to imagine
such a volume.
Well, that was what. Yeah, the volume is what I would imagine, especially Mike Matthews. I mean, they probably had I can't imagine they like certain models. They probably have enough to make a year worth or more at a time, or enough to span a year of production or longer. Because I mean, some of that stuff, other than like the chipsets that are sort of out of their control, I don't feel like they ever hardly have any. Like it's not like we get back ordered on like Green Russians or anything. It's always like the stuff that requires chipsets, like the Freeze and stuff like that. But other than that, they're always pretty much on it. So
yeah, I think it's just going to be straight up volume as part of it.
Yeah.
And then just whichever way they've streamlined the production too. So you got to remember, it could come right down to. It's funny, everybody and their brother.
I know, it's texting us right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it comes down to streamlining the production, or maybe part of their production is actually done somewhere else, so it streamlines the final result. Right. Same thing, I relate a lot of this stuff to the restaurant business because I did that for so long. Successful restaurants and ones that are run well profitably are ones that are designed well. Like I used to work for Red Robin for a while, and they had their production line for kitchen was pretty, well engineered for efficiency. And that's where you're gonna kind of shave off the time and shave off the money. So that's my thought.
Yeah. Well, I guess a quick question we got from Scott Brockway's asking.
Scott Broccoli?
Brockway.
Brockway. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, Scott
I thought
Brockway.
it said. Sorry, Scott.
Anyway, yeah. He's asking how to inquire about used items. He said we don't seem to respond to the Facebook inquiries. That's hit or miss. I mean, we try to do our best and hit all those, but
Is it on Facebook Messenger or Facebook on a post on a listing? Because I try to respond to everything I can. Problem
I'm sure
is,
we miss some. But yeah, we try to get everybody.
I get 70 or 80 emails a day in my inbox.
Yeah.
And all the social media goes through myself and Jake.
Yeah.
So I try to respond to everything I can, and if I don't, usually Jake tries
Tries
to
to,
follow
yeah.
up, and Dylan also tries to follow up too. But sometimes things do fall through the cracks. If that's the case and you don't get a response, call us at the shop during working hours.
Yeah, that's generally always going to be the best, is just calling us.
Yeah, or email me direct. You
Yeah.
can email me, ike@flipside-music.com. If you can't get us on social, there's just a lot of those things. The one thing I can't stand with Facebook, and everybody knows how much I love Facebook.
Yeah.
They did this thing called Business Suite, and now everything shifts over to this other area. And
Yeah.
sometimes I could see something, but I can't find it again.
Right.
And I'm not useless when it comes to technology. I could use stuff, But sometimes they make this shit. It's like I feel like I'm a
Yeah,
mouse
no,
in
the
a,
whole thing, yeah.
I feel like I'm a mouse in a maze trying to find a comment so I can comment back. So there you go. Best way to do. Always best way. Call us at the shop. One of the dudes, myself,
business hours, yeah.
during business hours. One of myself or the dudes will help you out. Absolutely. If we needed to get on a video or something to kind of show you something,
Yeah,
we're
that's an
more than
option,
happy
too.
to do that. Or email me directly or email Dylan directly. And that's the best way. We'll answer. It's just social sometimes can get,
Yes.
that's the official noise.
The official note, yeah. All right, let me surf through some of these comments, then we'll get to some of those other. Looks like we got about 23 minutes left. Let's see. Yeah, I mean everybody was kind of in consensus about the Electro-Harmonics and Boss. Honestly, Boss is one like I can't even fathom because like the relationships that company must have with part companies must literally go back more than half a century or more. So it's like their direct connection to that stuff. I can't even imagine how long that the history is there. So the amount that they're able to get and how quickly, I'm sure, is a big part of that.
Yeah, and some of this stuff is staggering.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I'm amazed that sometimes when I talk to like a rep and they tell me a certain like quantity or certain things, and I go, how many? What? I mean, it's staggering the amount of pedals sometimes.
Well, just
that some
Boss
of
and
these-
Roland is just because I feel like we have our own perception of them in the United States, but from what I've heard, like outside of the globally, they are massive in terms of like, they're trying to be right there with Yamaha, but they offer a huge, swath of things that Yamaha I don't think will ever try to. Yeah, huge tracks of land. Yeah, but it's I feel like they hit that spot that Roland is just, I don't know, outside of the States, I can't even imagine like our perception of the way they're here, but outside of the States, they're like a juggernaut. So
Just try to imagine how many of those Boss pedal boxes they make per year.
I know. It's unreal to think of just how much aluminum they use in one
in those boxes.
Yeah.
And they've been making those boxes forever. 40 years or more.
That'll be like
right?
the one thing that they find that about musicians being here.
They'll find Keith Richards, cockroaches, and
DS1s.
Boss pedals.
Yeah.
DS1s, yeah. Boss pedals. Holy shit. It boggles your mind. If you really think about how many of those pedals exist on the planet.
Yeah.
And how many they make in a year. It's just kind of crazy.
This is Charles 75N. Hey Charles, I didn't see you come in
What's
there.
up? I did. I saw it earlier.
He is asking if we had to replace the nut on a guitar, would we prefer bone or Graftec, and why?
I think it's going to depend on the guitar. So if it was my Telly, I'd probably put bone. If I was going to put Texas on my Texas Toast Duchess, that's got a Bigsby, I'd probably put Graftec.
Oh.
Because it's
Because
self-lubricating.
of the, okay.
So that's where I would go. If
So
it's gonna,
iFlex a well-lubricated nut.
everybody
Yes.
knows a well-shown and lubricated
Well-shorn
nut
lubricated nut.
is the ideal situation. Yeah.
Yes.
But for anything fixed bridge, I would probably go nut.
Yeah.
And anything that's got, then I would go Graftec.
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, all of the stuff that I have that is, stop tail or anything, it all for the most part has bone. Bone to me just feels, I guess, right. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. Maybe it's from like doing a lot of the work on the guitars too. Something about bone just feels more like proper and natural. I don't know. It's just feels better.
I think
And it's not even like a sonic thing for me, really. It just comes down to it just feels better.
Yeah, and I think you'd be, they got the new bone stuff, and I think either one would be good.
Yeah.
Well,
and honestly, it also comes down to who cuts it for you, because it's like a lot of times I hear Sam like trying to explain to people like, please don't give up on your guitar just because some dude cut your nut slots terribly. Like, please don't give up on the guitar just because of the bad nut slots.
It's just so hard for me not to snicker every time.
Well, it is really funny because
Who
like
shaved your nuts last time?
So,
What?
yeah.
What am I dealing with here? Why did I shave your nuts?
That's exactly who shaved your nuts last.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see.
Hope you didn't tip that bastard.
All right, we should have some questions from last week. We'll go ahead and roll into one.
What do we got?
Actually, it looks like nothing here has a couple questions, so we'll do first one. His is, since you sell ukuleles along with guitars, do you see an advantage of a young child learning on a ukulele before a guitar?
I'm gonna let you go
Ukulele.
first. Yeah.
Ukulele. Yeah, sorry, there's this.
We've been corrected.
Yeah.
Ukulele. Whatever, man. Do you know what it look? Is that it?
Right.
Okay.
I would say no. Honestly, I think anything that people, there's a lot of stuff that people point to, whether it's sports or whatever it might be. People always point at things as like, this is your thing to get you to this, like a training method. And I sort of get the idea with that, but I feel like if you want to do something well, just do that. Like if you're gonna play guitar, just play guitar. Same thing, like even electric versus acoustic. Like we have a lot of parents that they come from backgrounds where you start with the acoustic and then you go to the electric, and a lot of kids they're not, especially in today's world, a lot of kids are not interested in acoustic. So if your kid's gonna play an electric guitar, just let them play an electric guitar.
Give them an electric guitar.
Yeah, it's like I feel like that's where I'm at with it these days, and it's more just because I think whatever you do more, the more you play it. Even certain guitars, like specific guitars, the more you play that specific one, the more you bond with it, the better you get on that one. So I think muscle memory really does boil down to more of what are you engaging with more frequently.
Yeah, and I think with little kids,
Yeah.
I get it. Same thing. I understand where people are coming from. You can get a 3/4 guitar if they're smaller, but I get it too. Like if they're toddler-ish or under 5.
Yeah, they're very wee.
If they're a wee child, then I would say, an open tune ukulele isn't bad because they're making a sound.
Yes.
And they are producing
being
creative. So it doesn't hurt. And to be honest, you can buy a $30 or $40.
Yeah, it's an easy one to like test the waters and just see. But ultimately, I think like if you think there's a potential that your kid will go ahead and actually play, I think messing around with all the little like steps to get to the real thing that they want is it might be more of a hindrance than you think, because a lot of kids like their interest levels are very momentary. So it's like if you don't hook them with the electric, because I mean to me like playing electric guitar, there's really not anything like acoustics are fun, but you just like the crazy sound manipulation you get with electric guitars.
You could just rock.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it. So I think it's, and it's even too, like how many people we have come in the shop and like kids even, they'll plug a pedal in and they, I can't say acoustics. People don't generally come in and just start losing their shit over.
Yeah, we've had a couple.
Yeah, but
that's just because they sound great.
Right, yeah.
It's not like plugging a fuzz pedal in and going,
yeah, exactly, yeah. Exactly.
That's a different thing. Now, I think it also depends on age. If we're talking real young, 5 or under.
Well, yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Then get them something. Tune it, open.
Yeah.
Let them strum. Have a great time.
Well, and then,
start getting a little bit older.
Point of like getting anything that gets them into music is a good idea.
Yeah,
but
that's the entry point, and you could do that for $50 with a decent, a relatively decent ukulele. But if they're gonna start to continue to play, then I start to lean with Dylan.
Well,
get them. You can go right now and find a small child playing a full-size bass and killing it.
Right.
Or
so
any
they
guitar.
can learn. Yeah.
You can go on YouTube and find them at any time. We've had that conversation before.
Well, a lot of it,
can
like,
do it.
Yeah, even with my nephews, it was like my nephew Avery. He was wanting to play violin, but like, I noticed he was just his interest was starting to drop off, and so I ended up taking up like an acoustic pickup and plugging it into it, and like plugging him into the board. And like now he's more interested in getting like an electric violin and going that route. But it was like that opened up a whole world of ideas. He thought it was just kind of one and done. That was kind of
right. You can do a whole bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, and so it's like there are other avenues you can go with other instruments other than just like even ukulele. Like I think his next question is basically can you make a ukulele doom? We're gonna do it because we actually have several electric ukes right now, so
we're gonna.
So we are gonna do it.
We just gotta figure out how to down tune.
It will doom whether it wants to or not.
How do we down tune a concert ukulele?
We'll see. Yeah, because we don't have any baritones with pickups right now.
Are these strings made from Barilla pasta?
Barilla, yeah.
But we'll figure out how to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Let me go back to the previous questions.
Why is everybody in their brother? Can people just nobody gives a shit about me all day until
I know, and then we got to do this,
and I got to do something, and then it doesn't stop. Like it hasn't stopped. It's crazy.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Charles 75 actually does have another question from last week.
Sure.
He's asking, do we prefer rosewood, ebony, or maple fretboards, and or does it matter to you? Is what he's at. Yeah. So do we have a preference, and does it even matter? Honestly, for you, I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to answer for you, but I feel like you don't really care as long as it's a cool guitar. Like, as long as it plays well and sounds good, you don't really care.
Yeah, I generally don't, but I have a preference.
Generally, yeah.
Generally,
I think I'm kind of in that boat too.
Yeah, if it's got a rosewood board, I mean, if it sounds right and it feels right, I don't give a shit. But I do prefer maple and ebony.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because of the smoothness. The ebony's got, you know, a smooth, but so is obviously maple because it's usually finished. I prefer those two, but I have guitars with rosewood. Well, I do have ebony on my Texas Toast, my Duchess, which I've been playing the shit out of that thing lately, just because of the LPD 55 pedal.
Oh yeah.
That's like a match made.
Still gotta play it.
Oh my god, it's like a match made in heaven. Anyway, sidetrack. So yeah, I'll play anything, but I prefer usually maple or ebony.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for the most part I prefer ebony. But there is, like, for me, like for Strats, I do definitely maple. For whatever reason, I like maple Strats or maple fretboards on Strats more. Something about it just, yeah, I was gonna say, something about it just feels right. The same way to me, like a Gibson without a rosewood board feels a little strange. But yeah, I would say overall probably rosewood. Ebony and maple to me both sound, they kind of feel similar.
Yeah.
It's just that I guess maple, you know, whether it's finished or not is where it really changes. But I do feel like ebony, being as hard as it is, it's kind of glassier. So if you're trying to play quicker, or even you just, you know, you like a smoother board, I think ebony kind of hits the rosewood side of things without being maybe as, I don't want to say squishy, but
See,
as
I
porous.
think the ebony usually tonally is, if we're gonna start that shit,
Yeah.
kind of more lends itself to maple.
Yes, yeah, I would say the two definitely have, well, because, yeah, they're probably both a little on the harder side.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
What do we got? 29 people? Sweet.
All right.
How are we looking on time? Because we can't run into the Texas.
No, we still got,
Toast time.
we still got 12 minutes. So
All right.
we will try to wrap it up and send you guys on your way to the Toasters. Could have swore Ben Coombs had a question in here. There it is. Yeah, Ben Coombs.
Yeah.
He asks, can you recommend a delay pedal that has stereo input and output? So not the effects. So now he wants stereo input, output, not the effects loop one.
What the fuck?
All right, so he's
What the
narrowing.
fuck is he building?
I don't know. Well, he got apparently he got a Hydra, like a Keeley Hydra the other day, and now he's like on Stereo Quest or something.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm sure Amanda can tell us.
Building.
Yeah, I'm sure Amanda can.
What
let
kind
us
of
know,
madness
but-
is he building up there in Canada?
Well, I also found out that
Canadians love stereo.
well, there's that.
Okay.
But Ben is very convinced that tacos require lettuce, and where I know. So I have a theory that once
That's only in New
tacos
York.
make their way to Canada, they turn back into sandwiches. That's my theory. Because it's basically by the time they get all the way back up there, the lettuce. No, because like it's well, it's funny because like my grandpa grew up in Texas, and like he would literally like damn near strangle a person if they put some lettuce on a taco.
So I didn't. Well, I didn't. Okay, living in New York, Ben, we're only 2 hours away.
Right.
Like, well, maybe an hour or so by the Crow.
Right.
We didn't have Mexican food. I've told this before. I never had an avocado until I was 30. I was 30 before I had an avocado. No, there was no avocados in my neighborhood. Okay, there was absolutely zero avocados.
Zero avocado toast to be had.
Right, in my neighborhood where I grew up. There was nothing. But all I knew from Mexican food was Taco Bell. Like, we had Cuban food.
Well, and I could see that, like, if
You
that
know,
was literally your only, and
that
maybe
was the
that might be
only
Ben's
thing.
only. Yeah, I was gonna say that might be his only experience with Mexican food.
I never had
Yeah.
Mexican food until, and I've never been to Mexico. Well, I've been to Mexico, but I've never.
Oh, yeah, Amanda said that was correct. So yeah,
What,
so that
'cause they're Canadian?
Well, that, but
Taco
the
Bell.
Taco Bell part.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
So-
his
so it
only.
makes
yeah.
sense.
That does make sense. Yeah.
Same way with me. I didn't know when I moved to California. And I was going to places that had heavy Mexican populations. Then all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, what is this magical fucking food substance? Like, I love Mexican food now. My neighborhood that I live here in Denver, when I first moved into the neighborhood, was a heavily Mexican neighborhood, and my next door neighbor, Mario, his wife was a hell of a cook, and they'd just bring food over to me. I'd give them like
tamales and enchiladas and stuff for me.
Yeah.
That stuff's
chicken
amazing,
with mole sauce and shit. Oh my! I mean, stuff that's killer. So yeah, if you don't know what the stuff is, then you don't know.
All right, yeah. Then Ben and Amanda, you guys should make your way down here so you guys can have some real tacos.
You come out and visit us, we'll bring you to some places.
Yes, yeah. You guys deserve some real tacos.
Yeah. Made by real Mexican people and real Mexican grandmothers and such.
Yes.
It's the same principles like my heritage with the Italians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather go eat something from somebody that I know, you know.
Right.
Massimo's grandmother is making this shit. All right, we're going there. You know, instead of like, hey, it's we're making sauce here at Bob's Country Bunker.
Right.
You know? So, I don't know.
I think let's see. Oh yeah, Tim White's in here.
Hey, Tim just might got out of his lesson then.
Yeah.
Hey, come on over. We'll show you the place.
Well, I was gonna say if you want to
swing over.
still here. He's asking, are you still able to get the Hendrickson amps, or is it direct only now? We are. I think they were just trying to get their production.
Yeah. So
a little further.
So me and Peter are friends. I was just over there last week. So they're getting their production all kind of set up. We have amps on order, you know. But we're friends. Like, take care of what you got to take care of before you.
Yes.
Before you get a hold of before you send us stuff. But yeah, we can get it, no problem.
Yeah.
Just I'd have to just call Pete and see where we are in the queue.
Let us know.
Because he's almost
be interested in.
He's almost back to being caught up. He had a bunch of stuff out to Europe, I know that. And he's been getting a lot of stuff out there. But he's kind of gone a bit of a direct. He went direct for a bit, now he's going back to getting his dealers square. So yeah, we can get him. And come over. I'll show you the place right here.
Looks like nothing here. He said I missed his second part, but I thought that was the you do. Oh no, there's another. There's a subsequent question and a second question. Okay, there we go. So nothing here. He's still here, and I guess this will probably be our last one before we start wrapping things up a little bit more. He says his daughter is on a girls rule, boys drool kick lately. So what are some kick-ass female guitar players that you think could inspire a young kid? Less emphasis on the stereotypical female singer-songwriter, if that makes sense. So less like Joni Mitchell stuff and more Lita Ford, less Joni Mitchell, I think is what he's kind of got in mind.
I'd say Nita Strauss.
Yeah, Nita for sure right now.
Check her out.
Well, she's very supportive of like, if kids want to meet her and stuff, she seems to really be, into like spreading that stuff.
She seems like a genuine,
like a good ambassador for guitar.
Genuine person. So Lizzie Hale is another one. Also Laurie Basilio.
Yeah, Laurie Basilio. She's a good
I think
player.
I mentioned her last week. I found her a few years ago. I saw her at NAMM. She's a little tiny thing. I think she's from Brazil, I think is what I said, or something. But man,
yeah,
I watch her play. I'm like, she's a killer player. So there's a whole bunch of other ones too. I just can't think of right off the bat.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you. Even I'm trying to think. There's always the some of the classic ones, but I was gonna say it's weird how many of them do. That is always like the running joke of like the Runaways. A lot of them did break out of the Runaways.
Yeah.
In terms of Joan Jett and all that, but
I didn't realize Lita Ford was in the Runaways for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then
honestly, the Explorer Lita had back in like the Runaways days, that like talk about dream guitar, and then she obviously looked amazing too back then.
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, there's honestly right now it's kind of incredible. There's a lot of women too that are doing like really making a killing on the Instagram side of things.
Yeah,
doing that. Because I've noticed some of them are even getting recruited by bands that they were huge fans of, but because they've kind of broke through on Instagram, it's becoming like Sophie Guitar. I think like she ended up getting this huge.
She just put out something the other day with a picture of a whole bunch of other famous.
Yeah, so I think she got some like huge stadium tour or something that she was going to be a part of, and so a lot of
huge tracts of land.
Yeah. But anyway, a lot of women that are making a killing on Instagram right now. That seems to be another spot where if you can do that, you're easily able to pivot it into. Because even Laurie Basilio, I would say it's easier to stay up to date with what she's doing just following her social media than it would be to actually following her, the content she's putting out.
I think somebody might have said Sarah Longfeld or something.
Oh yeah. She's great. Yeah, she's more heavy, but she's
there's
awesome.
a lot, but there's always been great guitar there's always been great guitar players that are female.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The thing is, that's the cool thing about social media is that it's breaking down a lot of those stereotypes.
It's a lot more apparent, yeah.
This shit is an old boys club. There's no denying it,
Yeah.
you know. But there's always been great players. They're just good. They're just great guitar players. It doesn't have to be this whole stupid thing.
Yeah.
But
And,
we've.
Or is it Orianthi? Is that how you say her name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's another one. Yeah,
She's a good.
Yeah,
really
she's
good player too.
Yeah, a lot of amazing players out there right now. And honestly, I think it is easier for women to get into the game now because of social media. Like, you know, it's like
Well,
it's
because
like you
dudes are
said, it is an
dudes.
old. Yeah, it is kind of a guys club, and now it is breaking apart to where like it's because even there's like a lot of there's a what is it, Bleakheart Bleakheart, local. They're pretty much all female band, and like they kill it. So it's like you just gotta look for that stuff, and you'll find it.
Yeah, it's out there. And social media, like you said, I mean, they're making their way with social media because, I mean, honestly, dudes are dudes. And
Yes.
if you're a good girl wearing,
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's true.
there are some girls that I see that I'm like, yeah, just wear a t-shirt. You don't really need to.
Well, no, and I would say
you don't need to
yeah,
wear the
yeah.
booby shirt.
Yes.
Like you're a killer guitar player. Just wear a shirt. Don't.
It doesn't have to.
Doesn't
be
have
that.
to be a boob shirt. And I see it. That's one thing that I'm not averting my eyes. I'm still
Yeah, no,
watching
I
the
get
thing.
it. No,
So,
it's
but
yeah.
I'm like, wow, that's really nice. But at the
Doesn't-
same time, it's like you're really good. You don't need to
You don't need to sell it
to
that
put
way.
the boob shirt on.
Yes.
Like your playing will speak for itself.
Yeah.
I get it. But also, on the other hand, is like, well, also use
It's a quicker way to
use
get
the
the-
assets
yeah,
that you
yeah.
have available to you. So
Yeah.
I get it, but still, there's sometimes I'm like, just
Use what the good Lord gave you.
yeah. Well, like okay, Laurie Basilio is.
Well, no, she has a prime
She's
example. She's very
killer
very-
player.
yeah.
She's she's not wearing boob shirts.
Yeah.
So,
No, she's more modest for
Like
sure.
I got to pay the rent.
Yeah.
That's shirt. So
Yeah, no, that's true. Anyway, it looks like we are closing in on the last 2 minutes of the hour, so
All
we
right.
will go ahead and wrap it up. We do appreciate you guys, jumping over. We obviously had the hiccup earlier, so thanks for jumping over to the part 2 version. Hopefully next week we can just trial run this, go ahead and just hardwire this shit, and we won't
we'll
have
make
anything.
sure our internet is proper. If not, we'll just do it again with the phone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I think we had about 30 people at our peak, and we
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
If you can, throw us a like too, that does help.
Yeah, please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram if you guys are out there.
Yes.
Because we post a lot of stuff up there on pictures and stuff we have in the shop. So make your way over to Texas Toast Guitars.
Yeah.
Check out their stream. Matt and Chris are fun.
You get spam calls.
All right, where's the end button? Hey, fun with us guys. Okay, there we go.